Alright guys, so I'm going to be reviewing a bag for you today. It's actually, wouldn't call it a bag, it's a sling, but it does have a unique profile that's different from a lot of slings that are out these days. And I did have a sling that I used primarily and quite a bit actually. I even used it for pretty much going into the office every day. But then there was something about it that felt missing, and it was the Air Day Sling 2 that I'd been using. And I'd been looking at this brand, Black Ember, for quite a while. I was first interested in their Shadow 22-liter backpack, but ultimately I didn't need a full backpack, but rather a more compact thing because, I think that people are scaling down. A lot of people are minimalist like me, and you don't really need to carry so many bulky items, especially if you don't carry around a computer as an everyday kind of carry. And that's where this Black Ember Kompak came in. It's a 5-liter sling, and just to give you a comparison, the Air Day Sling 2 that I've been using is a 4.5 liter sling. Let me actually bring that out. Right, so as I was saying, here's the Air Day Sling 2 that has been my kind of go-to everyday pack, and it's been a gem to use. It's a 4.5 liter sling with the traditional sling design, but quite a unique kind of attachment point, and if you want I can review this back too. But the point is that it's about the same size as the Black Ember Kompak here, except with a drastically different profile and shape, and so that actually influences how things fit quite a bit. And I found that this narrow design left something to be desired. I couldn't fit certain things like umbrellas or water bottles. Now you can't fit an umbrella in here anyway, but this has, as you can see, a vertical design, and this has a kind of horizontal layout, and also it doesn't expand as much, and so I decided to pick this up. Now, overall, just to give you the verdict, I do actually like the Daysling 2 by Air a lot more. And it's not just because it's actually half the price, but even if these were the same price, I just don't see, the price being justified. I mean, I think that as we'll talk about, there are some, specific technical details, but they don't actually matter to me in everyday use. And actually, this has a lot of advantages. The material, for one, and actually, it's a lot lighter, and it's been a lot easier actually and more useful to use. But first, let's get into the Black Ember Kompak. So this hangs vertically like this, as you can see. It's got, one thing that I did like was that it had a nice sturdy handle, whereas the Daysling 2 sort of has just like a hook kind of thing, and I always do want a handle in any sort of bag. Now, let's talk about the exterior first. So it is a Cordura type of material, but if you can see close up, it's a really like almost denim-like canvas type of material that's very different from the ballistic nylon that's ballistic Cordura 1680D that's used in the Air Day Pack 2, and also all their other bags. And this, doesn't feel as robust. It does, as you can see, the main drawback for me was that it's a dust magnet. And it also doesn't have that same shine. You may actually, prefer this look or not, but I prefer actually the sort of cleaner looking, shiny finish of the 1680D Cordura from Air, rather than this type of material. It's probably equally water resistant, but it just doesn't feel that way as to me. The Air material feels a lot sturdier. So that's one negative already to start. Now, a couple things that drew my attention about Black Ember is first of all, like they talk a lot about this material and how it's, you know, machined and manufactured. And then one unique kind of cool thing is that you can thread this through here and actually end up, I'm not going to do it here, but you can lock the zipper so it's extra secure if you're on public transportation and or if you're traveling. But again, that's a feature that I don't really find myself using so much. You can tell the hardware maybe you know, is also what influences the price, which I didn't mention. This comes in at $125, and the Air Sling 2 exactly half, $65. But you can see there's some like, I guess, metal hardware. But again, those actually in everyday use you don't think about that as much. The thing that I noticed right away I didn't like was this wasn't really that comfortable, and that's because you've got this really thin band, and it's just so kind of uncomfortable on the across the shoulder. Additionally, it's quite stiff, so not only is it uncomfortable, it just doesn't look as sleek. Now I can see that they went for like a padded design, but it almost doesn't matter when the strap is so thin, it digs into your shoulder. And look, the padded area only goes so far, and so you have to wear, you know, this padded area will cover only part of your shoulder, and then the rest is just this thin kind of yeah, just typical material, and it's just too thin, and it actually affects the comfort quite a bit. Let me show you the Air by comparison. You know, it doesn't look that sleek, right? But it just got this kind of like seatbelt like material, but it's so flexible and it's just so comfortable, so much more comfortable. It's almost twice the thickness. That's a huge factor. While we're on the Air, you can see, yeah, I mean, it feels a little more plasticky and it's quite tough to open. So those are kind of the downsides of this, but you know, it's still, I think the pros of the Air Sling 2 outweigh these small drawbacks. So let's talk about some more positive things about the Kompak. First of all, the shape is the main reason I got it, as I mentioned. Secondly, the zippers are smoother than the kind that you find in airbags, and also different from Air. You see it opens clamshell style if you need it to, and so you get a full view of the inside. As you can see, you know, it holds its shape. It's rectangular, so it's got some depth to it, and I'll mention why that's important. But look, so I think the Black Ember really shines in the organization. So you can see, you know, plenty of pockets, and the interior actually is better than what you find in Air. It's just robust kind of material, whereas Air, you just have this kind of elastic mesh type of thing for the pockets. So you can see you can fit like an AirPod. I've got, there's a pen pocket specifically here. Put something like, and then you have these kind of slots so you can organize a little bit more. Okay. And then, yeah, so 3 separate slots here. Additionally, there is that, so that's the main compartment, but there's also a back compartment. And most bags have more than one compartment, as you know, but I really do like the back, you know, how it's just perfect for your thin stuff like passport ID. You can see what I did here. Have a little like notepad, the little notepad here. So really for slim stuff, I like putting my phone charger in here too. And it's just nice to have this kind of compartment, and then one main clamshell compartment. There's a little secret, I guess, pocket here that I haven't used yet, but it does seem pretty useful. Now, probably the best part of this bag is the front. because it has this magnetic closure, and that this is the kind of stuff that's actually functional, actually really useful, and a good design. As you wear this on your body, it's just so nice to go like this, quickly access, you know, your phone or something, whatever it is, and do that, right? Rather than having to open zipper. So it's a really nice kind of phone pocket or an exterior pocket for other stuff. So that's pretty much it. Now, I mentioned, we'll talk lastly about just the shape and why this could be the one you want over something like the Air. So I'm going to close this just halfway. I usually don't open it all the way, but check this out, right? So as I said, same volume as the Air, but look what you can do with this one, right? So I'm going to fit in one water bottle, right? And it fits exactly two, with some room to spare for any other things that you might want to carry. And it's a perfect fit for this type of small bottle, right? So there is something to be said for this kind of shape and design, where you can actually, you know, depending on what you tend to carry, this could be a more useful design. Now, as I mentioned, the big factor, if you're looking at slings, is the price difference. Actually, you know, is quite big between this one and Air. And I just think, you know, you can get the Air Day Sling 2. I don't know if they actually have that model. It's an older version. But I got it for $65, I think, whereas this is $125. So, I mean, once you factor that in, it's a no-brainer for me to go for the Air. I like both as companies. I just think that it's a little overbuilt. You know, I sometimes having too many pockets is not such a great thing, in my opinion. Simple is always better, and you know, one main useful compartment is always better. So I found the simplicity of Air's Day Sling 2 to be better. But overall, you know, it's unique in the market, I think, for kind of the shape. You actually don't find this type of technical sling that much. So I do like it. It might be probably my second choice. All right, guys, so hope that was useful for you. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I'll see you in the next reviews.